By this point in the semester, you've learned about the foundations of interpersonal communication, the stuff of interpersonal interaction, and you've learned how interpersonal communication participates and drives your interpersonal relationships. So in this last unit, we're going to delve into a few very important things that you can do with interpersonal communication. And by that I mean, what are some of the goals that you accomplish? Well, you accomplish a lot of goals with interpersonal communication, and we actually had a hard time figuring out which ones we would focus on for this unit. We decided to focus on 3 that are both prominent within the field of interpersonal communication. That means there's questions that researchers are spending a lot of time trying to understand. And we also focused on them because they're especially pervasive and important to how you conduct your everyday life.
One of the first goals that you might encounter with your interpersonal communication is how to influence people to give you what you want. We all have goals in our daily lives that we're trying to accomplish, things that we want or we need, something that we'd like someone else to do for us, or something we'd like them to change about the way that they're acting. Think about a situation, for example, if you needed a professor to add you to a class or give you an extension on a paper. What kinds of strategies do you have at your disposal to get them to give you what you want? In this chapter, we'll talk a little bit about the different kinds of communication strategies you can use to make yourself more persuasive and to influence others to see things from your point of view and to help you obtain the goals that you set out to achieve.
Sometimes when you try to influence somebody else, they don't really want to do what you're hoping they'll do. And when that happens, a conflict can emerge. Studying interpersonal conflict is what I've been doing for the past 20 years. It is my all-time favorite topic. And the reason is because conflicts are everywhere, and how we handle our conflicts can have such an important effect on whether or not we achieve our goals, and also whether or not we maintain our relationships. So in this chapter of the unit, you're going to learn some of the ways in which you think about conflict, the different ways that people approach conflict, and you'll also learn some important strategies for how to manage conflict more effectively. Conflicts are so important because they can tear relationships apart. And I think any way we can manage to help people be more effective in how they deal with conflicts in their lives, we've done some good. So I hope you'll learn a lot in this chapter about how to manage your conflicts more effectively.
And one of the final things that you'll need to do in your close relationships with others is to offer support. We enter into our close relationships with a lot of different goals, but one of the main reasons that we need relationship partners is to hold us up when we're feeling down, to give us support when we feel like we need it, or when we feel like we're not as strong as we could be. So in this final chapter of this unit, you'll learn about the different ways to offer support to others, particularly in times when things are really difficult. For example, if someone's been diagnosed with cancer or they've lost a loved one, what do you say in those moments? How do you support a person through your verbal messages and your nonverbal communication to help them feel supported and loved and cared for in your relationship? This last chapter really dives into the different ways that we support other people who we care about and the importance of support in your interpersonal relationships.
So in this last chapter of the book, you're going to learn about how to make problems that go awry in your relationships and problems that your partners experience better for them. So this last unit really covers some important terrain. And I hope that you'll take away from this also the fact that when you engage in interpersonal communication, you do so in ways that advance your own agenda. You influence other people, you solve conflicts, you maybe are able to make life better for the people around you. But you also, at the same time, cement important relationships. You help other people work with you, and you work with other people to accomplish goals and to have your relationships unfold in as smooth a way as possible. So there's some really important things that we do with interpersonal communication, both to achieve our own goals and to work with people we care about most effectively.